so welcome to the Watson Explorer analytics demo. So just a little background on me. I was an intelligence analyst and Arabic linguist before I came to Syscom. I served in the Army for 8 years and took some of the analytics skills and transferred them to the work I am doing now with Watson. But I didn't have a technical background, so what I'm about to show you is something that anyone can learn. All right, so now for the demo. So we designed a web crawler to crawl the NERC website and extract documents that were of interest to our analytics project. Since we didn't want to hit the website too hard, we only allowed the crawler to access part of the website, but we got a big enough snapshot to do some interesting analysis. The crawler identified file types, distinguishing between HTML web pages and documents such as PDFs, Word, PowerPoint, and Excel. The documents were OCR'd and images stored as searchable content. The Watson technology then parsed the content of these documents and web pages and performed lexical analysis to identify parts of speech. The results were then accessed from this Watson search interface, where we can start doing queries on the collection. From the search interface, we have the facets on the left side of the screen. On the top right, we see the collection that is being presented, and the main part of the screen is taken up by the main content viewer, which includes a number of tabs from the document view, facets, time series, and so on. There is also a search engine where we can run keyword searches on any word in the collection. So we are going to execute a simple search and see what results we get back. We're going to type in cybersecurity. And you'll notice that even as I begin to type, there are suggested searches that pop up, along with the approximate number of results. So even before you have searched on anything, you get a prediction for how many results your search will yield. So we will search on cybersecurity, and our document list has already shrunk significantly from almost 8,000 documents that we started with to only 147. In the main viewer, we have thumbnails that show a preview of the document. We also have these smaller icons, which give us a simple text viewer to see the raw text, and the other icon links us to the actual document. For this project, we created custom facets that extract key terms like project codes, reliability standards, meeting minutes, committees, and organizational terms like regional entities, NERC members and CERC members, and person names. So let's see what insights we can make by navigating our custom facets. First, we will look at the CERC members. They're associated with cybersecurity. Notice the top results when we sort by frequency. We have Duke Energy and Entergy, followed by the Tennessee Valley Authority and the Florida Power and Light Company. Let's filter by meeting minutes, and we will see all the meeting minutes that mention cybersecurity. We see that there are 13 of them, so now our results have been filtered based on our search criteria. How about we look at standards codes and see what we find there. We see here that there is a single reliability standard mentioned in these meeting minutes. So we will filter our results by reliability standard CIP-002-4. We have one meeting minutes related to cybersecurity, which has this particular reliability standard associated with it. Well, what if we want to know more about this reliability standard? I'll open the search in a separate tab. And let's do a keyword search on CIP-002-4. So we see all these documents that mention this standard. Now we will look at the standards names, browsing to see which standards. Let's pull this down right here. We'll look at the standards names to see which standards are associated with that code. We know this is a cybersecurity reliability standard, and the names that come up are terms like critical assets, critical cyber assets, technical feasibility exception, and so on. If we click on the first document, we see that it is a document on cybersecurity standards transition guidance, showing which entity created the standard, when it came into force, and the organization that enforces that particular standard. Then we can look at the regional entities. We see how often each of the entities come up, with NERC showing up in all 28 of the documents, and FERC and CERC showing up in several other documents. What about the committees that are associated with that standard? We see that the most frequently mentioned committee is the Standards Committee, followed by the Electricity Subsector Coordinating Committee, the ESCC, and the Critical Infrastructure Protection Committee. Let's look at project codes that are associated with CIP-002-4. We're going to filter by the highest frequency, which is project 2008-06. We've now narrowed our search results. We can then search by project names, and we'll sort the results based on the highest correlation. So the highest correlated value is the Cybersecurity Order 706 version 5 CIP standards. We will filter on this search criterion and see what we get back. Let's look at the document viewer here, and we'll click on the first PDF icon to view the actual document. And we see here that it's a standards announcement for project code 2008-06 Cybersecurity Order 706. And the document is dated November 5th, 2012. Let's go back to the Facets tab. Let's look at person names. And we see that Monica Benson is mentioned in both of the documents. Let's filter by that name. And we'll look at the preview. We see the project code along with its corresponding name. And here we see that Monica Benson is the Standards Development Administrator. Let's go back to where we left off on the first tab. Here we searched on cybersecurity, then refined our results by filtering on meeting minutes and the reliability standards codes. As I was doing the analysis, I caught the word Stuxnet, and I was intrigued. Now, you might have heard about Stuxnet back in around 2010, when it was revealed that this computer virus, which was allegedly created by the US government, was developed to target Iran's nuclear program. However, it also started to infect computer networks all around the world, and it caused a lot of damage. Here you see the word Stuxnet, and also we see the name Mark Weatherford. So let's do a search on Stuxnet. we see that we have 31 hits on the word Stuxnet in our keyword search. And now let's take a look at the person names that occur with this word. And there we see Mark Weatherford. So let's narrow our search using Mark Weatherford and Stuxnet. So with this first document, we see his name, and we see that he is the ESCC secretary, that committee that we saw earlier. We scroll down a little bit, and on the third result from the top, we see his name come up multiple times. Let's look at the preview viewer, and we see a list of agenda items. We see that Mark Weatherford gave an update on recommendations for the Stuxnet and something called Aurora. And he was also involved in establishing a memorandum of understanding with the Department of Homeland Security and the Department of Defense on cybersecurity information sharing. On the second document, we have a meeting minutes where the ESCC talked about NERC. It says the ESCC discussed NERC on taking on additional activity to inquire whether there was a full understanding of the recently issued recommendations on these issues, talking about Stuxnet and Aurora. So there you have it. We did a search on different project codes, reliability standards, and committees. We looked at persons' names that are associated with them, and we did some keyword searches on cybersecurity and also on this Stuxnet. So I hope this walkthrough has given you a basic understanding of the power of Watson Analytics and how a few simple searches can yield powerful results in a short time.